Hey there folks, and welcome back to the I Am CDB project. I am your host CDB, you are not, and today we're going to do a little head shave for you. And let me wet the dome a little bit so we can prepare for said head shave. There we go, got that wet, and we'll just go ahead. And by the way, we're going to use the same thing we use for the face shave, which is Wickham Super Smooth. And I'll use the Defender razor. I've already got some Super Smooth on the Razor Up 400 brush here, which should be delightful shave of the dome. And if you watched the head shaving or face shaving video, I talked a little bit about the weekend. I won't refresh that too much. I'll just sit here and babble maybe about head shaving, because that's what most of you who watch these videos come specifically for head shaving. There might be a few stragglers from the realm of face shaving that come by to, maybe considering head shaving. But I do try to talk about head shaving a lot, or at least occasionally, sort of being an advocate for those who are on the fence. And because a lot of people are, they're not sold, they're attached to their hair, and I'm not here to change your mind, about head shaving, if you're attached to your hair. I am here that if you're considering it and you're just sort of worried about it, and you're worried about maybe how it'll go or how you'll be perceived or whatever the case may be, I can help you there. But if you're just struggling with whether to do it or not, or, you just love your hair, I'm not going to be of a lot of help on you loving your hair. If you love your hair, you love your hair. I get it. Personally, it was never that important to me, even when I was young, because I'd always, and people who watch these videos regularly know that I've said 100 times, I was always destined to shave my head, because by the time, first of all, I started getting gray really early when I was in my teens, 17, I started getting my first gray hair. So I knew at minimum I was going to be white-headed, which really didn't bother me. I was just like, okay. And then in my mid-20s, the hair back there on the, I guess it's the crown, started leaving. I was like, oh boy, well, I guess I'm going to be one of those bald folks. And so the decision I made, however, was I wasn't going to be one of those guys that just had hair right here and then bald here and bald here. I was just like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to shave it all and just, it'll be whatever it is, and that's just it. And that's exactly what I did when my hair got too thin for my liking. And I much prefer this than when I used to have the hair. And, it does provide you some convenience. Now, one thing I must say is, you do have to shave your head fairly regularly. I do it every day, but you don't necessarily have to. You could do it every other day or every few days, or even once a week, I guess, if you really wanted to. But I really like it to be smooth. And I think a lot of hobbyists in this particular sort of hobby like that as well. But there are guys who go every other day or every few days and so forth. But for me, I like to go every day. And at a minimum, I'll make a sort of with the grain pass from front to back, even on days where I don't necessarily want to be, BBS or baby butt smooth, as they call it. I just enjoy, I do enjoy it being smooth. And so it's what I do. You don't necessarily have to do that. But the reason I mentioned the whole thing is it does take a little time. It doesn't take me as long as these videos go. I can do a head shave in about 5 minutes, maybe less if I was really pressed for time. I'm usually not pressed for time, because I'm one of those folks that, prepare to give myself time to do things. But I guess, you could be short on time, and then you're like, oh, I don't have time to shave my head, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you miss a day or two here and there, it's not that big a deal. I try not to, generally, because I just enjoy having the clean dome. It's what I like. But if you're on the fence about it, or just decide for yourself, talk it over with your wife, and then do whatever you want to do. But you know, don't let it dominate your every thought. Some people are very self-conscious about their hair, and they're losing their hair, and they're thinking about the rugs, plugs, and drugs. And for me, that's vanity. Personally, that's the way I feel about it. But, you know, that said, you should do whatever you want with your hair, whether it be shaving it or not. If you want support, then of course there are a lot of people in this thing who shave their head who are happy to support you and go, yeah, man, go for it. And I'm here as well if you're struggling and thinking about, you know, what you want to do. One thing you could always do is try it and then sort of see how it goes and see how you like it. But I will say, it is an adjustment. You know, it takes time. So you're not going to shave your head and necessarily be in love with it right away. Although, you know, I was perfectly fine myself. But you'll have people who are negative about it because people like for things to remain the same. Change is difficult for people, and it's difficult for me as well. And so people tend to want things to be the same. Even if your hair has gotten to a ridiculous state where it's bald here and it's spotty and you're combing over, people tend to want things to remain the same. So if you do something dramatic, a lot of people will, at least initially, oppose it or voice concerns and this and that and the other. And that's just human nature. But once you give it time, and the bald, lack of a better term, becomes you, then that's you. Because I can tell you, now when I go back and show people hair pics, they're like, oh my goodness, you look far better without the hair. You know, when they see my pics of a year and a half ago or so. Now, of course, I was heavier then too, quite a bit. And that had something to do with it. But generally speaking, even the hair pics, they're like, yeah, I could see where it was going here and it was going there. Yeah, I kind of understand why you shaved it. And said, but initially, a lot of people, friends, was like, what the heck happened to you? Did you lose a bet? And, you know, the wise remarks. And you should expect that from your friends, particularly if you're male, because what do we do as males, or at least those of us who are somewhat traditional males? We bust each other's chops, you know, over every little thing. And so you should expect a fair amount of ribbing. Just expect it and go with it and go, hey man, it's my head and we'll see how it works. And, you know, but don't agonize over it too much. Either do it, don't do it, do whatever is right for you. But once you do it, give it time. Don't freak out immediately and just go back and go, oh, I got to grow my hair back. Give it, you know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then see how it kind of settles on you. And I think, you know, for a lot of people, they find, you know what, I like this. I get up in the morning. If I had to run out of my house somewhere, I could just brush my teeth. I can run to Lowe's or something. Let's say I needed something urgently. I don't have to worry about my hair. If I take a nap and get up, I just brush my teeth and go. I don't have to worry about the hair. And so there are some efficiencies that can be gained. And so, you know, there are some pluses. Of course, there are minuses. You got to use some more sunblock and things like that, or wear a hat. I'm not a hat person, typically. I rarely wear them, but you do need to protect yourself from the sun if you shave it. Anyway, rather than rinse and all that, we'll just get right into the post here. I use the Defender, which is my favorite head shaving razor. It just works marvelously. It's efficient, still pretty smooth. I like it a lot. I used Wickham super smooth Club Cola, great scent. And I'm going to put on some fresh vetiver after I take a shower here in a few. I'll probably go finish my workout. I split my workout today. I did a little bit this morning. I'll do a little bit and then I'll come and shower and use the fine fresh vetiver and just sort of get everything feeling good and looking good and smelling good. I want to thank everybody for joining me, and I hope you guys have an excellent week. Until next time, I've been your host, CDB. You are not. God bless.